The mother wound, the pain beneath all others. Have you ever wondered why you still feel incomplete, even after doing everything right? You work hard, you seek answers, you read books, meditate, go to therapy. But deep down, something still feels broken. A quiet voice, an unnamed ache. You try to ignore it, but it always returns. You sabotage yourself. You choose the wrong people. You feel guilty when you pull away, and suffocated when you get too close. No one ever taught you where to truly look. Your mother, yes, this is hard to hear, but it's necessary. Because before you were an adult trying to fix yourself, you were a child, and that child shaped their entire emotional reality around the one figure who represented the world. Carl Jung said that the mother archetype isn't just a person, it's a psychic force, ancient and universal, that defines how you feel, loved, accepted, and safe. But what happens when this figure, instead of nurturing you, created fear? Instead of embracing posed control, instead of warmth, offered coldness or absence. You grew up hungry for love, and that hunger became a wound. And that wound became your identity. You're unconsciously reliving the child who is trying to please the mother. Every time you feel rejected, inferior, unseen, trying to be accepted by someone who can no longer change what they did. Or didn't he do? Here's the brutal truth. You won't truly heal until you face that wound. Even if she gave you everything materially, if she was emotionally distant, dismissive, unpredictable, or even too involved, you learned to adapt. You learned to shrink. You learned to earn love. And now you're still doing it. You over-apologize. You overthink every decision. You feel like a burden when you express your needs. You push people away the moment they get too close. Or cling to them, desperate not to be abandoned again. That's not just that's not a personality trait. That's a survival strategy that began in childhood and was never updated. Jung explained that the mother archetype has a dual nature. She is both the life-giver and the devourer, both nurturing and consuming. And when the negative mother complex dominates your inner world, you become trapped in a cycle of guilt, fear, and longing. You're constantly seeking someone to mother you, but terrified of being vulnerable again. You attach deeply, but always feel unsafe. You crave connection, but never feel worthy of it. You long to be seen, but also to hide. Because love, real, unconditional love, was never safe. And now, even when it's offered, you reject it. Because it doesn't feel familiar. Pain is familiar. Abandonment is familiar. Walking on eggshells is familiar. So you recreate those conditions over and over. With friends, partners, even your own children. Because that's the version of love you were taught to accept. But here's the tragedy. You mistake survival patterns for love. And until you see that clearly, you'll keep suffering silently. Not because you're broken, but because you were never truly mothered. You may have heard her say, "I love you," but did she see you? Did she know your inner world? Did she sit with your pain? Or try to fix it? Did she make you feel safe? Or did you always have to perform? You see, attention without empathy isn't love. Sacrifice without boundaries isn't love. What you got may have been love in her eyes, but to the child you were, it may have felt like absence, rejection, or suffocation. And those feelings became your blueprint. When someone gets too close, you push. When someone offers love, because none of it feels like home. But here's the deeper truth Jung helps us uncover. The mother you needed doesn't live outside you anymore. She lives within you. And until you confront the internalized mother, until you look her in the eye and say, "A pattern, you no longer control me," you'll remain emotionally tied to the pain of the past. That is the mother wound. You are not alone in this. This channel is a safe place for deep emotional healing. Not a memory, not an event. A silent inheritance passed from one generation to the next. If this resonates deeply with you, if you're feeling seen, maybe for the first time, make sure to subscribe now. How the mother wound controls your adult life. You'd like to believe that you've moved on, that you're grown, independent, healed enough. You've read the books. You've gone to therapy. You've built a life, maybe even a good one. But here's the thing, no one tells you. Unhealed wounds don't disappear. They evolve. They change form. They put on new faces. And without your awareness, they begin running your adult life from the shadows. Carl Jung called this the unconscious, the invisible force beneath the surface, shaping your choices, desires, and fears long before your rational mind even catches up. And one of the strongest unconscious forces, the internalized mother. You don't need to be in contact with her. She can be miles away. She can be gone. But her voice, the one you absorbed, not the one she speaks, still lives inside you. When you hear that voice say, "You're being dramatic. Don't make a scene. Stop being selfish," that's not you. That's her. That's the part of you that still believes love must be earned, that your needs are too much. That, being fully yourself, will lead to punishment, silence, or abandonment. And so you shrink. At work, you overperform and still feel unworthy. In relationships, you give everything, and then wonder why you're so exhausted. You apologize for existing. You choose emotionally unavailable partners. You self-sabotage every time things feel too good, because good never felt safe before. This is how the mother wound survives, by becoming your default setting. And because it feels familiar, you trust it, even when it hurts. You think it's normal to tolerate disrespect, to carry emotional labor in every relationship, to feel guilty for resting, saying no, or prioritizing your needs. But it's not normal, it's just practiced. You're not choosing it. You were trained into it, from childhood. And now, the child within you, the one who still aches for nurturing, is running your adult life through unconscious patterns. This is why relationships feel like emotional war zones. Why you feel like a child in a grown-up's body. Why you're drawn to people who mimic the very dynamics that hurt you. Because deep down, you're trying to resolve trying to finally win the love you never fully received. Trying to make a different outcome from the same blueprint. But the pain doesn't come from others rejecting you. The pain comes from you rejecting yourself. From living disconnected from your own truth. From treating yourself the way you were once treated. With judgment, fear, silence, or neglect. Until you realize, you've become your own jailer. You're replaying her energy in your own body, in your own relationships, in the way you speak to yourself when no one's watching. And maybe, just maybe, it's time to stop. It's time to interrupt the loop. Because Jung believed that what is not made conscious will be lived out as fate. In other words, if you don't become aware of the wound, you will live inside it forever. But once you see it, once you name the mother wound for what it is, everything starts to shift. You begin to notice the patterns. You begin to reclaim the voice inside you. You begin to choose differently. Not out of fear, but from clarity. Healing doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means stopping the past from dictating your future. It means you become the one who says, "No more. No more betraying myself to keep others comfortable. No more performing for love that should have been mine freely. No more reliving a story that never belonged to me." Subscribe now and don't miss the next part, where we explore how to actually begin the healing process. And in that moment, you begin to step out of the shadow of your mother's influence, and into the light of your own becoming. If this is opening something inside you, something painful, but also liberating, I invite you to stay with me. How to heal. Reclaiming your power from the mother wound. The moment you become aware of the wound, truly aware, without numbing, avoiding, or justifying, you are no longer its prisoner. Awareness is not the end, but it is the beginning. Carl Jung once said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." This is where healing begins, not in trying to feel better, but in daring to see what's been hidden, is the part that never got to speak. And the part of you that's been hidden the longest, the child within you, the one who felt rejected, dismissed, unseen, the one who had to be strong too soon, the one who learned that love was conditional. That part didn't vanish. It just went silent. Now is the time to listen. This is what Jung called shadow work. The process of bringing to light the pieces of yourself you were forced to suppress in order to survive. The grief, the rage, the longing. So many of us carry the silent shame of still needing a mother, even as adults. And how do you begin? Even after building our own lives. But let me say this clearly, there is no shame in needing what you never received. There is only pain, and the chance to heal it. Step 1. Stop running. Stop minimizing your story. Stop saying it wasn't that bad. Stop trying to protect her from your truth. You are allowed to feel what you feel, even if she meant well. Step 2. Give that inner child what she needed. Not just through positive affirmations, but through reparenting. Ask yourself, what did I need to hear that I never heard? What kind of love was I craving, but never received? What would it look like to give myself that now? This isn't just inner child work. This is soul repair. It asks in with the parts of you that still believe. If I am not perfect, I'll be left. If I speak up, I'll be punished. If I need too much, no one will stay. And then gently over time, offering a new truth. You are not too much. You are not a burden. Your feelings are not dangerous. You don't have to earn love. That is the revolution. That is how generational cycles end. When you no longer pass the wound forward, in your relationships, in your parenting, in the way you love and treat yourself. You are not here just to survive your pain. You are here to transform it. And here's where the real power lies. You don't need her to heal you. You don't need her to apologize, or understand, or be different. You get to stop waiting, because the mother you needed is no longer a person outside of you. She is a presence you learned to cultivate within. The mother who listens, who holds, who protects, who doesn't abandon. That presence lives in you now. Yes, there will be grief. Yes, there will be days when you still feel lost, small, triggered. But those moments don't mean you've failed. They mean you're healing. Let me know this is your time. Because it is. Healing is not a straight line. It returns to the same place. But you are not the same when you arrive. And if you're still with me now, if you're walking through this spiral, type the word transformation in the comments. Becoming whole. Closure without permission. You don't need her to say sorry. You don't need her to change. You don't need her to finally become the mother you always wished she'd be. Because the truth is, she may never understand the damage. She may still defend her choices, deny your pain, or vanish into guilt. But you are no longer the child waiting by the door. Because healing isn't about rewriting the past. It's about choosing a new future. And here's where many people get stuck. They believe healing means reconciling. That forgiveness must lead to closeness. That peace requires contact. But that's not true. You are allowed to forgive someone and never speak to them again. You are allowed to love someone and still protect your peace. You are allowed to grieve the mother you needed, while honoring the person she truly was. This is mature grief. This is what Carl Jung meant by individuation. Most whole self, separate from the roles and expectations of the past. Not a daughter trying to earn love. Not a child lost in shame, but a full human being. Aware, awake, and free. You don't get there by pretending it didn't matter. You get there by honoring that it did. By telling your story, even if she never listens. By setting boundaries, even if she never respects them. By choosing to stop the cycle, even if no one else sees it. Because healing isn't about her. It's about you. It's about giving your younger self the peace she never had. The freedom she never felt. The self-respect she was never taught. It's about standing at the edge of the pain and saying, this ends with me. No more shrinking. No more performing. No more guilt for surviving. You don't owe anyone your silence. Especially not the version of yourself you lost trying to be good enough. And so, this is your invitation. To stop searching for approval that was never yours to earn. To give yourself the mothering you've always craved. Through presence, kindness, truth, and boundaries. Because when you do that, you finally come home to yourself. And that is what she could never give you. That is what you now give yourself. Comment the word wholeness below if this message found you at the right time. And if you're ready to go deeper, subscribe. This channel is for those who are ready to stop surviving and start healing. If this journey has spoken to your soul, share this with someone who's ready to break the cycle. Let me leave you with one question. Have you ever realized how many of your choices were shaped by a wound you didn't cause, but you still carry?